Welcome, and thank you for tuning in. This is the Branson View, a show that celebrates true stories of life and business from America's heartland. Join us each week in the pursuit of freedom, truth, and courage that inspires us to take action. Let's get started. Well, hello there, friends. We were thinking about it the other day, and victory, achievement, and success in almost everything in every area of life involves time. Time is one of the most precious resources we have. Time is irreplaceable. It's also perishable. We are all equal when it comes to the time that we have. We all have 24 hours in a day. We all have all the time that there is. Time can't even be saved to spend later. And time itself cannot be stopped nor controlled. So, wow, time is such a mystery. But to answer these questions today and share wisdom, experience, tips, and strategies, we have with us Miss Charlotte Price-Watts, Dr. Ralph LeBlanc, and Steve and Jackie Bailey. Miss Charlotte Price-Watts, let's start with you. What does the term time management mean to you, Miss Charlotte?
Well, whenever I think of time management, the first thing that always pops in my head is Back to the Future for whatever reason. But, I think it changes. Time management in my 40s was quite different than it is today. And, I really believe that when it comes to managing time, if we're not careful, it manages us. So do I really think I can manage my time 24 hours a day, 7 days a week? Truthfully, I'd have to answer no to that. And the reason I said I think it was different in my 40s than it is today. In my 40s, I think I not only managed my time, but I took control of everybody else's life in the process. I managed their time according to my rules. Okay. And that wasn't always the best way to look at it. So time management to me means acquiring the skills to get through 24 hours in a day, and to do it in a compassionate way, and to have a little grace and mercy when people aren't exactly on time, and also know that it's going to have to be flexible at times. So time management, I think you have to kind of set a schedule and then be prepared for the unprepared. Coach Bailey, what do you think?
Well, Charlotte, you said it best. And Tammy in the intro, time is something that people go, I don't have any time. Well, guess what? We all have the same 24 hours in a day. It's just how we manage that time that makes the miracles happen in life. And as you said, something that was very crucial to how my wife and I like to view things, the grace and the mercy of being flexible. And we'll hear from a Dr. Ralph coming soon, batting cleanup. But when you've got a million things going on and 10 plates in the air, you better have something figured out as far as time management. How my wife and I like to do it is we like to start off with the bookends of the day. Start the day off this certain way. You know what I mean? That morning routine, get the day off to a great start, and then try and finish the day with also another bookend routine. Because once you get through your routine, shower, brush your teeth, this, that, and the other, and you get off to your workday, typically all chaos can break loose, and you never know what's going to hit you. So you got to be a little flexible with that grace and that mercy of appointment scheduling. But that's my take on it. Here's Mrs. Bailey, that she can give us her thoughts.
Hey, everybody. So yeah, time management is such a great topic, because it sets the stage to a productive, successful day or an unproductive, anxious day. So I think time management is where it's just being intentional with your day of what your expectations are. You got to give yourself some downtime, so that you can just unplug and have the freedom to do what you want and not have any schedule at all. So just kind of give yourself a grace period, just kind of like what everybody else was just sharing too. But also I feel my happiest self when I'm working smart and not working hard. And so being organized in the day and just knowing what I'm hoping to accomplish and setting structure in my day, in the schedule, I get the most accomplished. So really just getting organized is the key to time management, I feel. It just kind of setting up what would make it the best day, what would make it, balance. Time management on business. I want to get this done today. Personal life. I want to get this done today. Let's see, relationship wise, I want to get this done today. So time management, it's absolutely so key, and just visualizing what you want your day to look like moving ahead. So time management is such a great conversation, because sometimes we all just live every day blindly and not knowing how the day is going to go. And then time passes and then you just feel like, man, I'm exhausted, but I got nothing done today. So that's where I think time management is so important. What do you think, Tammy, about that? I know you're just key on time management, and it's, you help organize a lot of appointments that go on. And I mean, you're such an inspiration. What do you think about that on time management?
Well, I totally agree with what everybody is chiming in. I think that what you were just saying, Jackie, is taking a proactive approach as opposed to a reactive approach to making sure that, your priorities and your intentions are actually plugged into that daily, weekly, monthly planning situation. So I think that that's important. I do start off every day with, my time, my quiet time with God, and prayer is very important to me in that time of worship and reading the Word. And that reminds me of Matthew 6:33. The Bible says, if you seek God first, His way and His way of doing and being right, then He's going to add everything else to you. So I do try to purpose, and I'm not perfect, but I do try to purpose that time in the morning, every morning. And then from that time, I say I get God's plan. So, in that time of prayer and scheduling the day, I'm really prayerfully asking God, what is His priority? What, is on His heart and His list for me to get done for that day. And so I actually put down every single thing that I would like to get done that day within, like you were saying, Jackie, within those different roles in my life. And I think that's important because it also gives us an ability to be able to measure what we got done, what we maybe didn't get to because of, like Coach Bailey was saying, and I know Dr. Ralph's going to chime in on this in just a second, but things happen, life happens. And Miss Charlotte was talking about, planning in different phases of our life looks different because of the wisdom and experience that we've been able to, to adapt to over the years. And so I think that by having that list written, and I think being written is really important, you can check those things off. If you didn't get done something that you would like to still get done, you can move that to the next day or the next week. And like you said, Jackie, not be so hard on yourself. And like you said, Miss Charlotte, having that flexibility and that grace as well. So I think that, like you said, having that as Coach Bailey was talking about, kind of the bookends. But I would love to hear from Dr. Ralph. Dr. Ralph, what do you have to say?
Would you love to hear from me? Oh my gosh. I'm listening to Coach Bailey, Steve Bailey, my bromance. What's up? Down in Florida, keeping warm. Yes, time management. Miss Tammy, in the beginning, you spoke probably one of the most, impactful things that I've realized over the years is that time is our most precious commodity. We can never get time back. We can get money back. We can get vehicles back. We can get the stuff back. We can never get back time. And so we have to look at our life and go like, okay, what's most important? I know a lot of people put God, family, personal relationships, business, things like that in those particular orders. But when it comes to time management, throughout the day, one of the things being a healthcare practitioner the way that I am, obviously my hours that I have scheduled to see clients is my prime productive hours or my prime time hours to interact with patients, to have those encounters, to really be my best at those moments, knowing that outside of those hours, I do other things. Like I have other projects that I work on. I have other healthcare practitioners, doctors, and massage therapists that I'll consult with, or even just friends that I hang out with. I have people in other industries, whether it's real estate or whatever, just call and ask me about different ideas about their business. But I know that within the hours that I'm in my office, I'm a chiropractor. My focus is on health and healing, and it's doing the best that I can and being present, having a present time consciousness with every single person that I'm with. And when you have time management, you're able to do those things. You're able to be conscious about every little thing that you're doing in that moment. So when I'm in the office seeing patients, that's my focus. When I'm helping Steve and Jackie work on a book project, that's my focus. But I ebb and flow in between there. So I will tell you, I'm a little more a seat of the pants kind of flyer, in a sense that I don't really make lists of things that I quote unquote have to do. I do know that there are operations every single day that I must engage in order to have a successful day. And so that's how I gauge the end of my day. I look, kind of like at the last 8 hours of the day, and I might be sitting at a table, maybe thumbing through Facebook or whatever, but I'll always reflect back and just think, like, how successful was the day? And a lot of times it's just in the little moments where I find the successes, whether it's success with a patient or just helping someone find a solution to their problems. And so time management is very, very important. I think it should be top of mind for a lot of people, but sometimes we have to be unconsciously competent about how time kind of flows in and out of our life, meaning, I think there are moments where we become so unconsciously competent about what we do. We can really flow through our day-to-day, our week-to-week, our month-to-month, and year-to-year, and make it look so easy for people that really have never seen the back-end work happen, And I think that's where a lot of times people get lost in that, like, oh my gosh, they got it all together. And, to a degree, it's all together, but what they didn't see was all the work that made that look that good or made that look that easy. And so, but I think for all of us, I think we all echo the same idea or principle that time management is vitally important, because without that, you're really just, a ship without a rudder, and there's no telling where you'll end up.
That's well said.
We all hope to age gracefully so we can enjoy our later years full of energy, vitality, and good health. But so often, with age, our bodies start to show signs that things just aren't as they used to be. Our energy, skin, healing and recovery time, sleep, it all just seems to go downhill. Unless you're using LifeWave. Since 2004, LifeWave has been delivering its amazing life-enhancing technology to people across the world, always helping the body do what it was designed to do, only better. And as it turns out, the best was yet to come. David Schmidt, our founder, creative force, and world-class inventor behind LifeWave technology, has recently achieved something in the field of regenerative science with a single LifeWave patch that researchers worldwide, spending years and billions of dollars, could not. Introducing LifeWave X39, the world's first product ever to activate stem cells. A true breakthrough in regenerative science that helps restore our bodies to a healthier, more youthful state in a way no other product can. The secret? By harnessing the power of LifeWave's patented phototherapy, X39 uses light to elevate a peptide proven to signal the activation of stem cells. Think about it. These are the cells that generate and regenerate all the cells and structures of the human body. They're the building blocks for our organs, tissues, blood, and immune system. They also serve as an internal repair system everywhere. But as we age, stem cells become less effective. Their ability to repair damaged tissue is reduced. In fact, by age 60, they've slowed dramatically. But all that changes when just one LifeWave X39 patch is placed anywhere on the body each day. Instead of older and less effective stem cells, X39 supports the production of younger and healthier stem cells. This amazing level of control over your vitality and well-being was simply not possible, let alone this easy, until now. And the best part? Like all LifeWave patches, X39 is safe, non-invasive, and incredibly cost-effective. Look what people are saying about LifeWave X39. Backed by clinical studies, multiple patents, and 20 years of development, any one of these benefits would be impressive. But X39 is so effective, it can influence everything about your body. How you look, feel, perform, and heal. It's time you experience the power of X39. Live long, live well, live younger. Experience the power of LifeWave today.
You know, I love the fact that we have, all of us here on this podcast together, because that's really the beauty of having different people in different areas of profession and industry and also philosophy, because, it really does help to bring, awareness. And like Jackie and Charlotte and all of us were saying last week, we're learning from each other, which is really cool. So I really appreciate that aspect of the dynamic of what we're doing here with the Branson View. It's so much fun. Well, I do have a couple of other questions for all of us. And as we're speaking, you guys are definitely answering some of these questions. And I know we talk about life in general. And, I was thinking as we're preparing for the show today, is one thing is, how can we manage time with the stress and the distractions of life every day? And so actually, Dr. Ralph, I'll have you speak to that first, because you were just saying about the ebb and flow. So how can we manage time with the stress and distractions of everyday life?
I think simpleness of purpose, like having that intention or that purpose set in stone. I mean, we're all, successful in our own right in everything that we do. Miss Charlotte's an amazing, successful business person. Steve and Jackie, and then Jackie's like amazing in the timeshare world. She's legendary. And then Steve is, building an empire of real estate development. And so, but we all have a purpose, even though we're in different fields, as you mentioned. Our purpose is, there's an end result to the actions that we're performing. And so, again, we know that there are going to be moments where we're going to be thrown curveballs. And, Steve might say, hey, I'll see you in 30 minutes. And 3 hours later, I'm still looking for him, but I forgive him because, he's my boy. But, but that's having that flexibility. But I think that singleness of purpose, like having that just in stone, I think really, really allows for you to ebb and flow and for you to, I'm of the sorts that there's no problems, only solutions. And I think when you have that mindset with that purpose, set down, you will find the solutions. And even though there are things that come at you and people get thrown bricks at all the time, you can dodge and weave them, and you can still end up having a successful day, even though you might have a few encounters that day.
You do have to have a relationship solid with somebody in order not to show up for 3 hours now. Come on. Because as we manage our time, we definitely show people what's important to us based on how we spend our time and our money. So I love the fact that you guys are so solid that you guys can come back together after being stood up.
Well, I will say
it wasn't easy.
It wasn't easy. But here's the thing: knowing a lot of the things that Steve juggles day to day, and it's not that I have an expectation. It's just that I know, like if we're going to meet for lunch and it's 12:30 and at 1:30 he's not there, or he'll text me or something like that. I just know. But again, he's got his purpose for the day. I have my purpose for the day. Our meeting is just a moment in time, and again, because of the relation we have, we're able to kind of flex on that, going like, oh yeah, I know what he's got going on, or he's got 8 balls in the air, not 5. I know, we just understand each other from that point. And I think, again, but I honor and support everything that he does. I mean, I get to see, bits and pieces of it from the relationship that, his family and my family has. And as a result, we are always in support of each other. And, even though he doesn't say he supports me, I still feel it from him.
Ever get a chance to say I support you, because I'm always telling you I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm late. I'm sorry. I'm late again. So as long as we got that straight. No, it's I'm just jumping in, Tammy. Sorry, here we go. But
jump, buddy, jump.
Unconscious, competent, whatever that stuff is. I don't know what that really means, but we just want to go out there and keep it simple. At the end of the day that, wake up with God's plan and at the end, and know what the end in mind is. And as you mentioned, Doc, the kids, the wife, the business, our online direct sales business, where we're helping thousands of people all over the world globally. It's very exciting to be, that's how a lot of us here came together on this Branson View call, is because of that global online business that we all share. So it's so exciting to be able to touch so many lives and be so flexible, and just have the time in the day to create the leverage that allows us to, be a blessing to as many people as we can. And Mrs. Bailey's been trying to grab the phone. So I'm just kidding.
I've not been trying to grab the phone. He's so silly. He makes it. These guys, they make it sound so easy. But honestly, Tam, I love everything that Ralph is saying, and I love how he talks about his brotherhood and friendship with Steve. But I have learned just being, and I'll just speak as a woman and as a mom and as a sister and as a friend, and all of us play all these roles in our lives and everybody else's lives, which can cause anxiety when we overpromise, underdeliver, when we stretch ourselves thin, don't have enough time to do this, don't have enough time. And the big thing is you don't have time for me or whatever it is. So I think really what I've seen through Steve, and I've learned from him, and we've learned together, it's okay to say no sometimes. Just understanding what your purpose-driven life is, understanding what your goals are for your life and what you see your best life being like. I find, if we are over-promising and over-committed, it's okay to bless, tell others, I love you, God bless you, and, wish others the best life. And sometimes if you just have way too many things going on in your life, you're not productive. You're not emotionally, mentally, physically available for everyone in your life.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's, Steve and Ralph have time for each other. These guys have friends. They have time to be friends with each other. And I think that's so important. Just figuring out, just to be kind about it. What time do you have in your life? Do you have time in your life to have 50 friends and talk to 50 friends every day? Probably not. And that's okay. And it's just an honest moment with yourself of just setting priorities of what do you have time for in your life for priorities. So if it's family, if it's marriage, if it's friendship, it's siblings, if it's parents, just really delegating your time and designating how much time you have for everyone, so that way at the end of the day you're not exhausted and all you're having is complaints altogether because you don't have time for each other. So wouldn't you agree with that on that, Tammy? I think really just
getting way off track.
Kind of getting off track.
No. This is way on track. Are you kidding me?
This is way on. Yeah.
This is way on track.
Anxiety. It's about anxiety.
Just so you know, Jackie, I've been trying to teach Steve how to say no for the last year. He
no.
No.
You guys, your bromance is so strong, and you got a good friendship that you guys aren't letting go of each other. We're not going to let you guys let go because it's a great.
I told you tell everybody else no, just not me.
Yeah, exactly. Tell everybody else I don't have I don't have time. But God bless you. Yeah, that's amazing. That's so cool. Let's stay in touch. But I've just seen. And on a lot of people like Tammy, people have asked me as a young mom, having an 8-year-old, 7-year-old, 3-year-old, and I'll just chime on this really quick. And I get asked a lot, being a woman in the business, how do you have time to do it all? How do you have time to live your best life as a mom and a businesswoman and, as a wife? And it's you just got to learn to say no. What can you do instead of saying, I can't do this, I can't do that? What can you do?
To your husband, though.
Never say no to your husband, right? That's key to marriage. Hey, there you go. But anyways, yeah. So just putting expectations for yourself and for others too. Really putting expectation for others and delegating. 4-hour work week. was an amazing book Steve and I read when it comes to time management, and that's delegating responsibilities. You know, if there's things that you need to do in your life, would it be easier to get help to do that so you can focus in other areas of your life that are more productive? So time management, I mean, wow, what a great conversation. Otherwise, by the end of the day, we're just so unavailable for everybody, especially for ourselves. You know, I know Charlotte's been so successful at this in business and running, you know, her family and businesses. I mean, Charlotte, would you agree with everything that we're saying here?
Absolutely, I would agree with everything. And it's something that I've learned to do, and it really has helped me. I am going to use a day timer. Am I going to be 100% every 15 minutes? I know exactly what I'm doing. No, but I do write down every 15 minutes what I've done. So tomorrow I can look to see if I did what I should have done. But I've learned to color code because, you know, sometimes, you know, you've got young children. Around here, it's a totally different situation. But you know, things happen on the spur of the minute, and you have to be able to look instantly, say, where am I? What do I have going on? How can I schedule this? So I've learned to use yellow, red, and blue highlighters on my day timer. All doctor appointments go in first, whether it's mine, my husband's, whoever, okay? Birthdays, anniversaries, all the important dates in our family go in there. So I have time set aside that's like highlighted in red, which means this isn't going to change. It's not going to be rescheduled. Whatever's here is here. It's here permanently for today. Okay. If I have yellow space, then that means if something pops up, I can book it in those yellow times because that's kind of a free zone. If it's blue times, then it's like scheduled appointments, which maybe it's our Zooms, maybe it's you know, just something that's happening where you're doing some team training, whatever else that it's doing. And, you know, I do a lot of workshops with other people through the John Maxwell organization. I work, you know, pretty close with some of them. And a lot of times our workshops are scheduled same time every week when we're working with people or we're doing a lunch and learn or whatever it is that we are doing as a team or individually. So those times are going to be scheduled in blue, which means I know it's there. And if I would have to move it, there is a possibility I could change that and get in on the second group or the third group rather than having to show up on the first one. So by color coding my day timer, every morning I can look down and immediately prioritize what's urgent, what's not urgent, what's urgent and important, and what's, you know, important but not really that urgent. So you kind of learn to prioritize your day and stick a color on it. So it's just easy to go back without having to reread everything and try to figure out what I can move, where I can go from here, what's possible. And that has helped me more than anything.
Hey, I do thumbs up, 1 thumbs up, 2 thumbs up, 3 thumbs up, 4 thumbs up on my cell phone for my color coding or fire, little fire sign. If it's a fire, we got to get her done.
I love that.
We do a lot of that on the schedule too. Like we'll put family time and block it off. Business time, block it off. And you know, people respect you more if you just kind of say what your expectations are, and if you set your own schedule, you respect people a lot more that are busy. You know, I find like if you're over available, then you're over stretching. One thing I've learned, actually, a little key, and I love that, Charlotte. Another like good tool to use in life, you guys, that I've actually, my husband's going to love it that I told you this. I learned this from him. Is that anytime he starts a call, phone calls are probably the most time consuming, but, you know, most productive too. But spending time, like text messages are fast, quick responses, fast communication, time management, you can manage it better. But when you talk to someone on the phone, business or personal, sometimes they can stretch out to a 4-hour conversation that can be a 10-minute text message. But anyway, starting a phone call like he does, which is, hey, I'm about to walk in a meeting, but before I did, I just wanted to give you a call and then bring up the conversation you want to talk about. And then when it's time to cut that conversation, because you really don't have the time to talk for 2 hours on the phone, hey, I'm about to just walk into that meeting that I was telling you about, so let's catch up later.
Don't you be using that stuff on us now, for real.
I know.
The people on the phone.
It's a great opening line though, and I've used that a lot, and it's really helped me out a lot. So others don't feel like, oh, just like that, you're going to cut me off. No, I kind of set the stage before we started talking. And the meeting is like, we have other appointments. Everybody does. We're all busy. So but giving each other that time and attention, and just having an intention before starting any conversation is so good.
Yeah, I'm telling you, that's why I love these conversations with all of us, because there's so many different approaches to, the same outcome. And it's wonderful because I think we're all wired just a little bit different. And I think that's what makes it so exciting to listen to, because everyone can glean that wisdom and inspiration from these tips and strategies that we're sharing with people. So one thing I wanted to ask you is, we've kind of gone over, how we plan the day and if we're using planners and that kind of thing. But one thing I do want to ask before we wrap it up is, how do you measure your goals, plans, and desired outcome based on your time management strategies?
I think Genesis was the best book on that in the world, because even, the very first chapter, if you go back and you look at what happened in the creation, the first 3 days was where he put everything in place to sustain what he was creating the last 3 days. Without sun, moon, stars, a food source, water supply, then nothing else would have survived. So he had a little planning session in there, obviously, before he just kind of waved his finger and made things happen. And I think when we set our goals, we have to do the same thing. We know what the end result is, but we also need to go back and say, okay, what are we going to do today to start moving this toward that end result? And Jackie did this last week or a week before last so well, when she was talking about go to the end result, work your way back to today. And I think that's the only way that you can actually look at goals. But I think with me, I finally had to realize that 80% of what was going to get accomplished was going to be done in 20% of the time. And, we all have the same number of hours, the same number of minutes and seconds in the day. So no matter how well I plan that day, 80% of my day is going to result in something happening, but probably only 20% of it's going to create what I want it to create long-term or be sustainable. So I think I have to look at reality in that. And, I think, again, it's going to go back to whenever I block the time that I'm actually doing business, working on my goals, whether my goals are business goals, whether my goals are family goals, personal goals, then I have to determine how much time it's going to take, excuse me, in each of those areas. So if I know I have 80% of my time busy and 20% productive, how do I break that down to make it more productive than 20% in every area? And if I use sticky notes a lot. I'm still a paper pencil girl. I'll be quite honest with you. Me and technology sometimes are not the best friends. But I love sticky notes, because I can, if I'm thinking about something or I need to get something accomplished, I can stick that on my day timer and then mark off what I accomplished today and see what I've still got left. And I've learned to delegate, because so much of our time, we're being busy, thinking that nobody else can handle whatever it is that needs to be done. And like I said, I think at 40, I thought that God needed my help, because he was a busy man. And I thought, man, I just need to take this over and do it. And I've learned later in life that if I just give somebody else the chance to do it, they're going to improve on anything I started with. So delegating, saying yes and meaning it, saying no and meaning it, and making sure I'm following through on promises have really made a difference in what I can accomplish.
Charlotte, amazing. Amazing. Delegation is my middle name. I love the delegation. We were raised differently because our parents, our teachers, if you want this done right, you got to do it yourself. That's what we've always been told, but that is absolutely wrong for time management. You want to be busy and get things accomplished. Time management delegation is a key thing to do. Focus on what you're really good at. You need to make your list, accomplish what you can, use your strengths and talents, and allow others to use theirs. So that's my 2 cents. I'm going to sign this back over to Dr. Ralph. Dr. Ralph, I'm walking right into a meeting, but I'm going to turn over to you for a minute. Or actually, Mrs. Bailey, and then Dr. Ralph.
No, I love to hear Dr. Ralph. Dr. Ralph, you there? I love to also chime in on this too, but I want to hear what Dr. Ralph has to say too. Let the gentleman speak.
Thank you so much, Jackie. I appreciate that. So I guess, how do you, judge if the goals are productive? You have to have some, key performance indicators. It has to be something measurable, something that you can, see an end result in. And, a lot of times we don't know, what the process is going to unfold when when we set a goal. But if we know where we are, we know where we want to be, we can always either reverse engineer that process, or we can understand that in the process, there's going to be, again, ebbs and flows. You're going to go in and out of, certain directions. I really like that Miss Charlotte hit on something very, key to anything in that 80-20 rule. And she talked about, 20% of her actions are going to produce 80% of her results. I mean, that is so, factual for so many things, whether it's organizational or even your personal activities. It's, 20% of your activities are going to produce 80% of your income. So as Steve mentioned, find what you're great at, do that, and make sure that that's the thing that is producing 80% of your income. And when you do those things and you can measure how that system is performing. So again, you have to have those, key performance indicators. When you can measure those things, then obviously the outcome of success goes up. And I think that's what we want for everyone that, again, listens to this podcast, or even for, again, we support each other so much. We want it for each other. But those are the things that I think are important there.
I love that you said all that too, Ralph. I mean, Tammy, I know you're going to also, we always agree on that. It's quality of life. Do what you love what you do, and say what you mean what you say, and say it with a purpose. You light up, you get excited when you're doing what you love. And it's easy to spend time doing what you love if you're excited about it. I feel like Ralph, one thing I loved about meeting Dr. Ralph was we went to his chiropractic office, and I thought, man, this guy's got like the perfect work schedule. When does he even work? And Steve and I looked at each other, we're like, that's like a retirement, setting your best life right there. Off on the weekends, off on Friday evening, the weekends, off Monday. Like, he can have a weekend off for the rest of the year if he wanted to. Like, talk about just, setting up and designing and just having the right to do it. I mean, that is so, so cool. Just putting yourself in a position that you could structure your life and design your life. But I really think that, living your best life and living every day like it's your last is so important, because then you're intentional with what you are planning for your day. Steve and I plan out our, we talked about it, 10 years, 5 year, 1 year, and all the way down to our monthly, to our daily. So when we talk about our year, what do we expect to happen this year? And when we narrow it down for the month, how that's going to happen, we really do on our planner. We do break down our weekly expectations and the balance that we need in our life to have a happy life. And that's balance in all areas of your life. Again, just talking about family and health and quality time and personal time. And by the end of the week, when you really look at your structure of your daily and your weekly, did I get to fulfill in all areas of life? And that's where you should always have an open time to fulfill whatever is missing in your schedule. And I think that's just, once we live our best life and love ourselves first, it's easier to love others. And also making sure you have time for your faith. Faith is so big in our life, and just having gratitude every day before we start and when we end for an amazing day that we had. And reflection of your day is so important on time management, because, what you appreciate will appreciate, and just reflecting on what was the best parts of your day, that will happen again in the morning when you start your day back up again. So love this conversation. And Ralph, great feedback. And Charlotte, amazing. Absolutely amazing. Tammy, what do you think about all that?
Well, I was just listening to everybody, and I'm like doing cartwheels over here, because, I totally am in alignment and agreement with what everyone is saying. And it did remind me of Psalm 90:12. It says, "So teach us to number our days, that we may get the heart of wisdom." And that's what it feels like we're doing. We are operating from, a place of gratitude and thankfulness to the time that we have. We're really celebrating life, celebrating business, celebrating each other, friendships. And it's just wonderful. And so I am truly grateful to be a part of this group, and this podcast is phenomenal. I mean, I think this is honestly one of our best sessions. So hopefully we can get this out here to the world and share all of these great strategies and tips with everyone. But
hey, Tammy,
yeah,
I want to say something really quick in reference to what you're just kind of mentioning. If you're listening to this podcast and you really, really like it, and gosh, we all hope that you do, because we really just want to give you strategies for life, for business, for, every aspect of your life. And that's why we have multiple people on here. But if you listen to this podcast and you like it, please share it with your friends, your family, people you love and care about, or people you just need to hear a message. It may not be for everybody, but if they listen enough, it will be for them. That's my promise to you. But nonetheless, please share this with everybody, because we really want the word to get out. We want people to, be inspired. We want people to have direction and motivation and do all of the things that get lost in the fray, because, life is busy, and, we just want to be there to be of service. And, one of my mentors told me once, he goes, service is the rent you pay for your space here on earth. And this is our contribution. There's no fee for this podcast. It's absolutely free. And I guess if there is a fee, it's just share it with others, and hopefully it'll bless people along the way. Thank you so much.
Absolutely, Dr. Ralph. Thank you so much for sharing that. Yes, we definitely want the word to spread. We feel like this is of great value. One last question before we wrap up the show, because I know we've shared a lot of information. There's a lot of tips and strategies of how to, and we're really excited about the goals, breaking them down into daily, weekly, those actionable items that we're all talking about. But one thing I want to know is, how do we know that we're winning with time? Coach Bailey?
Wow, you let me go first. That's so amazing. Thank you. How do we know that we're winning with time? Well, I guess that's a good question. Okay, my wife is going to help me. Hey, when you marry the right woman, that's part of it.
I don't know. I just kind of, again, we're emotional human beings.
Mm-hmm.
And so I always try to think, in fulfillment in all areas of our life. If this happened, I never want to think like this, because I want to live till we're 97. But if this happened to be our last day, will we look back and say that's the best day of our life? Or will that be, I regret I didn't get to do this? And it's just how we think every day before we start our day. What can we not live without? Who can we not live without talking to and telling them we love them? We tell everybody we love them every time we talk to them, because it means the world to us. Just because you never know what that day brings, and just being thankful for that day. And so at the end of the day, when you are saying your gratitude prayers, you got to listen to yourself and listen to your heart. What are you thankful for? And that would really give you an honest answer of what you missed out on for the day. And that would give you intention for the next day. So I think when you do your gratitude at the end of the day, it would really answer the question, did you live your best life, if that happened to be the last?
How do you follow that, Tammy? There you go. Marry the right woman.
Miss Charlotte, how about you? How do you know that you're winning with time?
Well, anytime I'm on the right side of the dirt, I figure I won a little bit, at least for today. That's always what I look forward to. But, I think winning is when you do set goals in life. You set goals in your personal life, in your business life, in all areas of your life. And, what I like to do is look at my day like 7 days at a time. So on Sunday night, I may make my plans for whatever I'm going to do for the entire week. And then on Saturday, I'm going to evaluate what happened during the week, just to see where maybe I can make improvements or change, or what I missed that shouldn't have been missed that was pretty important. And again, I think every day, as long as there was and I can't remember who it was, the person that said, make your bed every day, because then at least you can say you accomplished one thing. And there's so much truth in that. It's not the matter of how much we do, but it's knowing that you accomplished one thing and you did it well. And I think that's how I measure what's going on. But, Harvey McKay said something, and I wrote this down in a bunch of notes that I had from a long time ago. But it said, time's free, but it's priceless. You can't own it, but you can use it. Can't keep it, but you can spend it. And once you've lost it, you never get it back.
Wow, that's powerful. Hey, Tammy, I just thought of what I could say here. Here it is. You ready? You don't have to be great to start, but you got to start to be great. And how you measure that win is time freedom. When you're not locked down to places you have to be because you really don't want to be, and have that choice of time freedom. So that's how I measure the big wins, is that time freedom that is allowed if you're doing the right thing. So Tammy, back to you. Thank you guys for letting me share. We're just so blessed to be a part of this.
Oh man, that was awesome. Very well said. Dr. Ralph, how about you? How do you know that you're winning with time?
Well, I just look around. I think it's said in the book, you will know him by his fruit. And I think that, in just staying humble and being grounded and just kind of taking a daily account of the things around me, the smiles on my children's faces, my grandkids, my wife, as long as I didn't, do anything sideways that day. but just being conscientious about the world around me, and again, it's not about the stuff. It's about the time. It's about the moments. It's about, I'm going to steal my Jackie's thing. It's hitting those bucket list moments. It's having, checking that off the bucket list. It's like all of those things. But I think that's, for me, that's what's most important. I just look at the day and go, was I productive? Absolutely. I can look at my bottom line and know that I was productive from a business standpoint, from a personal standpoint. Again, my interaction with my family, and also my community. I see a lot of people that come into my office from the community, and before I enter a room with anyone, I always want to be in a state of mind to be of service. And we're always under the law of compensation, meaning for every action there's a reaction, right? So for everything we do in the world, there's an effect to that, and it's always an operation. So it's just knowing that you're always laying good groundwork and always working the ground in a good way that will produce fruit, will produce the roses, all of those things. And by the way, Miss Charlotte, it was Admiral McCrae who said, "Make your bed every day."
And Tammy, if I could just add one thing, we do all make bucket lists, things that we want to accomplish. But having been there, done that, and sometimes when we accomplish the goals and we have the things that we thought we wanted in life, and I'm so grateful, so thankful for everything that I have been blessed with. But I think sometimes we need to expand those bucket lists, because sometimes we kind of get more opportunities to do more things that we didn't think we would have, maybe at the time we were making that first list. So I'm working on my second one.
I love that. That's awesome.
Well, Tammy, again, thank you again. It's been very well said. It's not about the stuff as per se. It's that happiness within inside, the gratitude of the fulfillment of the family and the life and the friends and everything that was just mentioned. That time freedom that allows you to have that quality time with the people you love and care about the most, and you can go out and bless as many people as possible.
What a tremendous show. Thank you all so much for being here today. Wow. Great nuggets of wisdom, tips for time management and success. I'm telling you, if I were a listener of this show, which I am, I listen to this show several times, even after the recording is posted, I would not miss an episode. I mean, because you never know the beauty, the wisdom, the strategy, the tips that's going to come from this group. So please tune in each week, and you can find us on Spotify. You can find us on Apple Podcast, Google Podcast, and we also have a YouTube channel at the Branson View. Thank you so much for being here, and God bless you all.
You've been listening to The Branson View, a weekly podcast dedicated to sharing stories about real life and business from America's heartland. Thank you for joining us today. For more information about our sponsors and how to connect to us online, go to www.thebransonview.com.